Welcome back to Pie From Us. Are you here because the fire of getting rich is burning within you? Do you crave financial freedom? Want to earn a lot of money? Want to change your life and the lives of your loved ones? That's a completely legitimate aspiration, a powerful driving force that has pushed countless generations to seek success. And on that journey, what do we usually do? We search for a secret formula, a holy grail leading to wealth. We look at billionaires, read their stories, watch glamorous videos, and ask ourselves, how did they do it? We scour the internet, join get-rich courses, hoping someone will hand us a treasure map, a shortcut to prosperity. But what if I told you that this hunt for a secret formula is actually leading you down the wrong path? That there's no universal formula, no treasure map to wealth for everyone. Let's pause for a moment and reflect calmly. Why are formulas that once worked now outdated? Why doesn't exactly copying a billionaire's path guarantee you'll succeed too? Because the world changes at breakneck speed. What was true 10 years ago might be completely wrong today. And more importantly, each of us is a unique individual with entirely different circumstances, potential, relationships, and starting points. So, if there's no formula, what is the real path to building sustainable wealth? In today's video, we'll dissect the raw truth behind the get-rich myths. We'll decode the seemingly simple success stories, and most importantly, discover how you can create your own path to wealth, one that suits you and delivers real value. Stay until the end, because what you're about to hear could completely change how you view money and success. One of the most common mental traps when talking about getting rich is the belief that we can replicate success. We often hear, if I do exactly what Elon Musk did, I'll be as rich as him, or just learning how Bill Gates built Microsoft is enough. It sounds logical, but the reality is much more complex. Only looking at the surface of success stories while ignoring the context, supporting factors, and even the hidden aspects behind them is a serious mistake. Let's dissect a few typical examples. Elon Musk, the Emerald Mine legend, and beyond Elon Musk, a name synonymous with innovation and extraordinary success. But his wealth story is also surrounded by controversy, especially regarding his family's legendary emerald mine. The commonly told story is that the Musk family owned an emerald mine in Zambia, and the money from this mine funded Elon's early entrepreneurial steps. His father, Elon Musk, has repeatedly claimed this story is true, stating that selling gems helped cover Elon's expenses when he moved to the US and attended the University of Pennsylvania, as well as supporting his brother Kimball. He described this business occurring during a free-for-all period in Zambia through informal agreements, sometimes just a handshake. However, Elon Musk himself has vehemently denied the existence of this emerald mine multiple times. He calls it bullshit, a fabrication, and even once offered a bounty of $1 million Dogecoin to anyone who could prove the mine existed. This contradiction becomes more complex when old interviews surface where Elon seemed to acknowledge his family's unusual wealth, such as his alleged 2014 quote, "We had so much money at times we couldn't even close our safe." More recently, biographer Walter Isaacson, in his book on Elon Musk, offered a different perspective. According to Isaacson, Elon Musk never owned an emerald mine. Instead, in the 1980s, Elon sold a light aircraft and exchanged it for some emeralds from an Italian businessman who owned a mine in Zambia. Elon confirmed to Isaacson that the mine wasn't registered, and he simply smuggled the rare emeralds into South Africa and hired people to cut them in Johannesburg. Elon described this business as skullduggery because it was entirely illegal, involving selling stolen parcels to jewelers abroad. More importantly, Isaacson notes that this emerald business collapsed in the 1980s, and Elon lost all the money he made from it. So what is the truth? Perhaps we'll never know 100%. But what's clear is that the story isn't as simple as the family had an emerald mine. The contradiction between the father's and son's accounts reveals an underlying battle to control the narrative of success origins. Elon Musk clearly wants to cultivate the image of a self-made man who rose through talent and relentless effort. And he resents the trust fund kid label the Emerald Mine story might attach to him. Conversely, critics seize upon this story true or not to argue that Musk isn't as self-reliant as he claims, and even has a tendency to lie. The ambiguity and lack of concrete evidence inadvertently allow both viewpoints to coexist, turning the Emerald Mine story into a battlefield for shaping public perception. But even without an emerald mine, we cannot ignore Elon Musk's family background. His father was a successful electromechanical engineer, at least in his early phase, owning a private plane. This indicates a certain level of privilege and resources far beyond the average person's starting point. The key point isn't debating whether there was an emerald mine, but recognizing that family context, whatever its extent, creates undeniable initial advantages. Bill Gates, the golden connection with Bill Gates, computer genius, co-founder of Microsoft, an icon of success in the tech industry. His talent and hard work are indisputable. But is that the whole story? Few know the crucial role of his mother, Mary Maxwell Gates. She wasn't just an ordinary teacher. Mary came from a prominent family. Her father and grandfather were well-known bankers in Seattle. She herself was a highly influential figure in the community, serving as the first female president of United Way in King County, a member of the University of Washington Board of Regents for 18 years, and sitting on the boards of major corporations like First Interstate Bank and Pacific. It was in her leadership role at United Way nationally that she forged a fateful connection for Microsoft. In 1980, Mary Gates served on the National Executive Committee of United Way alongside John Opel, who was then the chairman of IBM. This was a critically important time. IBM was looking for a partner to develop an operating system for their upcoming personal computer PC line, a revolutionary project. Microsoft, still a fledgling company at the time, was one of the candidates. During a conversation, Mary mentioned her son's company to John Opel, according to an IBM employee later. When Microsoft's proposal came up for Opel's review, he remarked, "Oh, that's Mary Gates' son." What does this connection signify? It wasn't merely a mother's introduction. This was influence coming from a highly respected and influential individual within a high-level network, occurring at the pivotal moment when IBM had a very specific need that Microsoft could potentially fill. Would Microsoft have won the IBM contract without this connection? Possibly, but it's undeniable that the IBM chairman knowing about Microsoft through someone he respected, like Mary Gates, provided an invisible advantage, a level of credibility and access that most startups never get. This is clear evidence of the synergistic power of high-level networks. It's not random luck, but how social capital can amplify opportunities and create turning points in careers, extending beyond mere individual effort and talent. Donald Trump. Decoding the small $1 million loan. Another often cited self-made legend is Donald Trump. He frequently claimed he started with just a small loan of $1 million from his father, Fred Trump. However, an in-depth investigation by the New York Times painted a vastly different picture. According to this investigation, Donald Trump actually received the equivalent of at least $413 million in today's value from his father's real estate empire throughout his life. This amount didn't come from a single loan, but was the result of a systematic transfer of assets spanning decades through various complex methods. Let's look closer at how Fred Trump funneled money to his son, millionaire from childhood. Even before the mentioned $1 million loan, Fred Trump had made Donald a millionaire by age 8 through trusts and partnerships. By age 17, Donald owned part of a 52-unit apartment building. Right after graduating college, he was receiving the equivalent of $1 million per year from his father's arrangements. Lucrative business partnerships. In 1975, father and son partnered to build a high-rise in New Jersey aided by a nearly interest-free government loan of $7.8 million. Donald received the bulk of the financial benefits, eventually earning the equivalent of nearly $305,000 annually just from this property. Fred also helped his son collect consulting, management, and rental fees. By 1975, age 29, Donald had received the equivalent of nearly $9 million from his father, continuous salary and benefits. Even after claiming assets of $200 million in the 1970s and being recognized as one of America's richest people in the 1980s, Donald Trump remained on his father's payroll and heavily dependent on his empire. In the early 80s, in his 30s, he still received a $260,000 annual salary from his father, plus millions more from trusts and other deals. Share manipulation. By 1987, Donald owed his father at least $11 million. To avoid huge taxes if this debt were forgiven, Fred Trump bought a 7.5% stake in one of Donald's condo buildings for $15.5 million. 4 years later, Fred sold this stake back seemingly to Donald himself for just $10,000. The New York Times suggested this could be a legal tax evasion, disguised casino bailout. In 1990, when Donald couldn't make an $18.4 million bond payment for Trump's Castle Casino due to overspending on renovations, Fred sent an accountant to buy $3.35 million worth of casino chips and then leave without placing a bet. This action was deemed an illegal loan under New Jersey gambling laws and resulted in a $65,000 civil penalty. Later, Fred wrote another $150,000 check to further help his son's casino. Fred Trump himself also built his vast fortune partly thanks to preferential government loans. Donald Trump's story isn't just about receiving help from parents. It shows a massive, systematic transfer of wealth over decades, using complex, sometimes legally questionable financial maneuvers. This calls into question the definition of self-made and illustrates how generational wealth can create advantages and safety nets that individual effort alone can almost never match. It wasn't just an initial boost, but inheriting access to an entire financial ecosystem designed to preserve and transfer wealth, completely changing the starting line compared to an ordinary entrepreneur. So, we can clearly see that the success stories of billionaires are not as simple as we often hear. We don't deny their talent, hard work, and sometimes audacity, but ignoring the role of family background, networks, social capital, systemic advantages, and sometimes controversial factors is a major oversight. Idolizing these individuals and believing that simply copying their actions is enough to get rich is a dangerous illusion. It makes us miss the bigger picture, overlook factors beyond individual control that have incredibly powerful impacts. So, if copying doesn't work, if a universal formula doesn't exist, what is the right path? The answer, paradoxically, lies within yourself. The path to sustainable wealth isn't about finding a ready-made formula from the outside, but about building your own path based on your core values and unique capabilities. And what's the most surprising part? If your ultimate goal is financial wealth, the first thing you need to focus on isn't money. Sounds crazy, right? But let's dive deeper. Money, in essence, is a medium for exchanging value. You receive money when you provide something that others need or want. It could be a product, a service, a solution to their problem, or even an experience. Therefore, your income is often proportional to the value you create for society and the number of people you can reach and serve with that value. So, instead of obsessing over making money at all costs, shift your focus to becoming a person of value. How do you do that? Step 1. Continuous self-improvement. This is the foundation of all success. Invest in yourself first. Knowledge, never stop learning. Read books, take courses, not get-rich-quick schemes, but courses that enhance professional skills, industry knowledge. Follow experts in your field of interest. Stay updated on new trends. The world changes constantly, and your knowledge needs continuous refreshing. Skills. Identify the hard skills, e.g., programming, graphic design, data analysis, marketing, specific industry skills, and soft skills, e.g., communication, negotiation, problem solving, teamwork, leadership, critical thinking, emotional intelligence necessary for the field you want to pursue or build. Hone them daily. The more unique and irreplaceable your skills, the more valuable you become. Health, both physical and mental. A healthy body and a clear mind are your most precious assets. Eat healthily, exercise regularly, get enough sleep, and practice stress management techniques like meditation or yoga. Good health gives you the energy to work effectively and make sound decisions. Mindset. Cultivate a growth mindset. Believe that your abilities can be improved through effort and learning. Learn to see failure as an opportunity to learn. Dare to try new things, and don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. Step 2. Gain diverse experience. Book knowledge is important, but real-world experience truly shapes who you are and helps you discover hidden opportunities. Challenge yourself. Don't be afraid to take on different jobs, participate in new projects, or even start small ventures, even if they might fail. Every experience, successful or not, provides valuable lessons, helping you better understand your strengths, weaknesses, and how the world works. Step out of your comfort zone. Travel, meet people from different cultural backgrounds, participate in volunteer activities. These experiences broaden your horizons, enhance empathy, and adaptability, crucial factors in an increasingly connected and diverse world. Learn from failure. Failure is, in the end, it's an indispensable part of the learning and growth process. Analyze the reasons for failure, draw lessons, and adjust your course. The most successful people are often those who have experienced the most failures, but never gave up. Step 3. Build and nurture quality relationships. So the power of relationships in Bill Gates' story. Your network isn't just about who you know, but also who knows you and what they think of you. Connect purposefully. Attend industry events, conferences, clubs, online communities related to your field. Don't just go to hand out business cards. Seek to create meaningful connections, listen, and learn from others. Give first, receive later. Sustainable relationships are built on trust and mutual support. Find ways to help others without expecting immediate returns. Share knowledge, introduce opportunities, offer sincere advice. When you create value for others, they will be more inclined to help you when you need it. Quality over quantity. Don't try to connect with everyone. Focus on building deep, genuine relationships with people you respect, those who can inspire, challenge, and support your growth. Seek out experienced mentors willing to share, maintain, and nurture. Relationships are like plants. They need regular care. Keep in touch, show interest, celebrate their successes, be there when they need support. Step 4. Identify your core value and niche. This is the most crucial step, where you connect everything built in the previous steps to answer the key question. What unique value can you bring to the world? Self-reflection. Take time for deep reflection. What are you truly passionate about? What excites you, makes you willing to spend time and effort without feeling tired? What are you best at? Which skills do you perform naturally and effectively? What problems do others often ask you for help with? What does the market or the community you want to serve need? What problems remain unsolved? What needs are unmet? Find the intersection. Your core value often lies at the intersection of your passion, skills, and market needs. This is where you can do what you love, leverage your strengths, create a positive impact, and gain recognition through money or other forms. Define your niche. Don't try to please everyone. Identify a specific niche market that you can serve best. Becoming an expert in a narrow field is often more effective than being a generalist. For example, instead of saying I'm a marketing expert, be more specific. I help small F&B businesses optimize their social media advertising to increase revenue. What is your value? Finally, answer the question. What problem do you solve for whom? What results do you help them achieve? What specific benefits do you bring? The clearer your answer, the easier it is to communicate your value and attract the right clients or partners. Now, be honest with yourself. Sit down and think. What value are you creating in your current life, in your job, in your relationships? Is that value truly significant? Is it solving a real problem for someone? And importantly, can you scale that value to help more people? If the answer is not yet, or not much, then you know why you haven't achieved the prosperity you desire. It's not because you're unlucky, not because you haven't found the secret formula, but possibly because you haven't focused enough on creating and delivering real value. The real formula, if you can call it that, is value you create X number of people you help equals your level of prosperity. Focus on increasing both sides of this equation. Enhance the quality of the value you provide through continuous self-development, skills, and experience. Simultaneously, find ways to expand your reach, connect with and serve more people through your network, technology, or effective business models. This is not a shortcut. This is not an easy path. It requires perseverance, effort, continuous learning, and adaptability. But this is the path to sustainable and meaningful wealth. Because when you focus on creating value, you not only build prosperity for yourself, but also contribute positively to the development of your community and society. That is the wealth truly worth pursuing. We've journeyed quite far together, debunking myths about getting rich and discovering an important truth. There is no universal formula, no shortcut. Trying to copy others or hunting for quick get-rich schemes often leads only to disappointment and wasted time and effort. The truth is, the path to prosperity, to financial freedom, is a deeply personal journey. It requires you to look inward, focus on self-development, accumulate experience, build quality relationships, and most importantly, identify and create your own unique value. Stop searching for the holy grail outside. Start building it from within you. Ask yourself every day, what value can I create today? Who can I help? The answers to these questions, combined with persistent action, will lead you closer to your goals, more solidly and meaningfully than any formula ever could. Don't be discouraged if you don't see results immediately. Building value and wealth takes time and patience. Consider every step, every lesson, every failure as part of the process. Trust in your own potential and never stop striving. What do you think about what we've discussed? What's your perspective on creating value? What are you doing to develop yourself and build your own path? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your story and perspective. If you found this video helpful and valuable, don't forget to hit the like button. Share this video with friends you think need to hear this message. And most importantly, subscribe to the Pie From Us channel so you don't miss future videos with more insightful and practical content. Thank you for watching until the very end. We wish you lots of luck and perseverance on your journey of creating value and prosperity for yourself. See you in the next video from Pie From Us.